Today on the Hopefulist, the power of visualization. Start to envision the life you want, and you will get there. New TV shows, finally, and we have gone pumpkin crazy.
Welcome to the Hopefulist, a daily talk show hosted by veteran broadcaster Wendy McClure. Join Wendy each day as she shares her life lessons that transformed her from perpetual pessimist to the ultimate hopefulist. The perfect morning show to get you caught up on the day's top stories while sharing insights that will lead to positive transformation and bring out the hopefulist in you. For more inspiration, visit hopefulist.com. And now, here's your host and hopefulist, Wendy McClure.
Good morning. Happy Hump Day. Today, Wednesday, September 25th, 2019, day 13 of Gotta Get On Ellen. 4 more days till Ironman. Man, I am not looking forward to this. The having to run around and keep up with my sister who is actually participating in the Ironman competition sounds like a lot of work, and I am already exhausted. I don't care about how tired she's going to be. She is the one that has decided to punish herself. No, she's very excited about this, getting a little nervous, and I don't blame her. We are going to be there to root her on, and like I said, I am a little nervous about how I'm going to keep up and move around and kind of all that stuff. So we're going to take our bikes. It was a lot of fun having Joe put the bike rack on yesterday, which we haven't put on in years because I just bike ride around the neighborhood. And he's trying to, let's say, shortcut stuff. And I'm telling him you have to put the bottom fasteners on the trunk latch, like the hatch. And he's like trying to go down to the bumper, and I'm like, we're not going to be able to open the trunk. And so he does a huff, and I'm like, what are you huffing? Nothing. It's the only time that Joe and I try to stay away from Joe when he's doing home improvement jobs or stuff that may not necessarily go well. It's the only time where he kind of snaps a little bit, gets annoyed real easily. So, yeah, when he's doing like home improvement work and stuff like that, I just try to steer clear. I do check in once in a while to see how things are going, ask if I can help, and then I move on out of there. So the bike rack is on. I don't know if it will stay on as we're driving down to Maryland on Friday with our bikes on it. Here's hoping. Here's hoping. So 4 more days until Ironman, and then I bring my sister home with me. I'm going to put her in my pocket and bring her home with me, and we're going to have a couple of days to hang out and chill and relax. She will need to recuperate, I'm sure. She bounces back pretty quickly from these types of things. Oh, kind of crazy to me. But yeah, so the next couple of weeks coming up pretty exciting for us here. Like I said, my sister will be here, and then the following week, we are going to join my brother and his wife at their house in the Outer Banks. Well, their rental house in the Outer Banks. So very, very much looking forward to that, obviously. So what did I want to talk about today? Today, I am so excited, yet so tired, because the new shows are finally coming on. This Is Us was on last night. Now, I'm not going to do any spoilers in case you have not seen it, but I did stay up till the very end, and it was even an extended episode. It went 8 minutes longer than normal. And they start out, I was very annoyed. They start out with 3 different people and 3 completely different storylines. And I'm like, do we not have enough storylines as it is when it comes to This Is Us? So they're also showing Jack and Rebecca when they're first courting, and him meeting her parents, and her father does not like him. Well, he likes him, but not for his daughter. And so other than that, we don't see anybody in present time. We don't see Kate. We don't see Kevin. We don't see Randall. So by the end, they're showing us how these new people are going to intertwine in the lives of the people in This Is Us. They also showed Jack meeting, what's his name? Rebecca's current husband. Michelle, what's his name? I can't think of his name. They showed them meeting for the first time, which I thought they were already friends. I guess I'm wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. So This Is Us was very good. I just did want to mention, again, no spoilers here, but Deja meets a boy, and when she comes home after meeting him, she's got like a big smile and kind of a dreamy look on her face, and Randall stops her and says, Deja. She's like, what? He goes, what's with your face? Pretty funny line. I liked it. It was pretty good. Also, last night I watched The Connors. I think they do a little too much canned laughter, a little too much canned stuff. Like, you know, they were having the audience laugh at times that weren't necessarily funny. And I know that they always do this, but this was like a constant thing, like during a whole conversation. And then they had the audience go, ooh, at one point, like, you know, they were shocked or something. And I don't know, it's just a little too much for me. I think it's weird. Then I taped the new show Mixedis. I didn't watch that yet. So I'm going to look forward to that. That looks interesting to me. I did watch Blackish when it first came out. And like many of the other shows that I take on in the beginning of their lifetime, I lost interest. Also, it's just on at a time that's a little later for me. So I try not to get too involved with shows that I will have to record over and over again, which is odd because I just started a whole bunch of new recordings. I'm very interested in that new Patricia Heaton show, Carol's Second Chance, I think it's called. Patricia Heaton, such a good actress, obviously, because she goes from one hit show to another hit show to another hit show. Here's hoping that this is a hit show. Now that she has a couple of clunkers in there, she went from Everybody Loves Raymond to a show that she starred in with Kelsey Grammer. I believe it was on Fox. It was a half-hour comedy where she was a newscaster and she worked with Kelsey Grammer. And I think that was on for a season, maybe a season and a half. And not long after that, she started on The Middle. So The Middle had its run, 5-6 years, something like that. And then now she's got this new one. So I'm very interested to see that one. And tomorrow, so exciting, A Million Little Things. Very excited about A Million Little Things. This is one show, even more than This Is Us, that just throws me for a loop every time. It really just, every time I think I know what's happening, they go another direction, and a completely different direction. And also, I had talked about New Amsterdam. They kept showing in the promos, and if you know, if you watched the season finale from last year, somebody dies. And I think I'm right. I only watched the very beginning of it, so I could still be wrong, but I think I'm right in who I guessed was going to be the person that died. Although, I don't think it was that hard to guess. Just saying. So Mariah Carey is giving us an early Christmas present this year. She is re-releasing her Christmas album for its 25th anniversary. This will be released on November 1st. I still have my original copy. I still remember going over to the record store. That's right, the record store in the mall on my break from Friendly's to purchase this CD. And I do still have it somewhere, I am sure. And, of course, that is the album that produced All I Want for Christmas Is You, which is probably the contemporary number one Christmas song of all time. It's a little catchy. We all enjoy it. You can admit it. It's okay. So there's something that's going to be coming up. And there's also a live performance on there from a show she did, I think, in the 90s. So keep an eye out for that. If you do not already have your copy, Maybe you want to download it now. That's the issue, the problem with the iTunes and all of that. Like, I have all of these CDs, and there's no way for me to play them. I mean, there is, but it's not going to be on my phone in my playlist. I know there are ways to do it, but they seem very difficult. And, honestly, I don't even have a CD drive on my laptop anymore. CD drive? Who has room for a CD drive? My goodness. So, I also wanted to mention, I was watching the news yesterday morning, and they were talking about how far Uber is going with safety precautions. And they've got all these safety precautions in place. They do background checks on their drivers, and there's all of these things. And I had heard something on there I had never heard before, so I wanted to pass it on because Joe and I do Uber from time to time. And I've always been a little bit nervous, not with Joe, but once or twice I've taken an Uber by myself, and it always makes me a little nervous. But since these issues have popped up with the woman getting into the car that she thought was her Uber, and it turned out not to be, and unfortunately she ended up losing her life, now this is what they told you to do. When you get in the car, you ask them, "What is my name?" And they'll tell you. And they can't blame you for asking, "What is my name?" Because if they are your Uber driver, they will have your name right there in front of them. But here's the new information that I found out. And I'm guessing that you have to be already in the process because I looked at it and I did not see one on just, because it just kept asking me where I wanted to ride to. I'm guessing that when you're actually in the process of waiting for a ride or in the middle of a ride, they say there's an emergency button on the app. So if you ever find yourself in some sort of trouble, just reopen the app and, first, before you get in trouble, locate where the emergency button is. And then if you are ever in trouble, hopefully you will have your phone on you and you can just hit this emergency button and it will send out an alert. And hopefully help will be on the way. So I thought that was very good news because we really do enjoy taking Uber because I don't know if you know this about us, but we enjoy a cocktail or two from time to time. So, of course, we want to be safe about it. So we Uber. And I find that it is well worth the money. Every time I kind of scoff at how much a particular ride is, my husband's always like, "Yeah, it's a lot less expensive than a drunk driving charge." Not that we would ever drunk drive, because we wouldn't. Because we do not want to put anyone in danger or ourselves. So that would be not a good thing. So, yes, we do like to take Uber from time to time. I'm not really worried when I got my big, huge 6'4" husband with me, but occasionally I do take it by myself. On to today's topic. We are talking about, of all the pumpkin-flavored food drinks, what is your favorite? Got a lot of pie, just going to say. Rosemary says none. Yuck. What? None. Carol Ann says just pumpkin pie and pumpkin cheesecake. Marcy says I've only purchased Wawa pumpkin spice coffee so far. Laurie says, I don't like anything pumpkin flavored except pie. Jim pie, Wilbur pie. Cannoli says pumpkin muffins. I enjoy a pumpkin muffin as well. Marianne says cheesecake. We've got more pie from Linda Eleanor. Jen says pumpkin munchkins. That reminds me of pumpkin pancakes. Do get some pumpkin pancakes from time to time. So Michelle writes pumpkin bread, and Jim says Michelle with chocolate chips, and Michelle says no other way to eat it. Well, then why do you make it with raisins so often? She makes it with raisins because her daughter prefers it with raisins, which I tell her all the time, you are crazy, chocolate chips rule. Chocolate chips, a rule. Denise says the beer at Manafirkin with the cinnamon sugar rim. That's going to be a little too beery for me, but I do like the cinnamon sugar rim. Then we have Elizabeth who says pie, and Denise says none. What wrong with you people? None? Now, I do have